This was a novelization with a lot of suspense in it, and yet I was glad I had finished reading this. Hi, I'm Annie, and it is GarbAugust. More information about this fun, trashy pulp reading and film watching event in the description box below. As there are weekly prompts, you don't have to do these weekly prompts, but if you like, you can do this. And for this week, the next week, it is novelizations or books turned into a 1970s or 1980s miniseries. But today I will be talking about a novelization. And as a silent film enthusiast, I am going to talk to you about the novelization of the 1914 serial The Perils of Pauline. The novelization was written back in 1915 by, I think, who was it written by? I forgot. Charles W. Goddard wrote it in 1915. I think most people, when they hear The Perils of Pauline, think of the 1947 film starring Betty Hutton. But, like I said, this was first a series, a silent film series that was you could see in the cinema back in 1914, and you can see this series now on YouTube as well for free. And the novelization from 1915 you can also read for free, link in the description box below to both of these. In this series, the story is about Pauline, and Pauline is about to inherit a fortune when she marries. And she likes to get married, and she likes to get married to Harry. And Harry likes to marry her, and Harry wants her to marry him as soon as possible. But Pauline doesn't want to be a boring housewife. No, she wants some adventures of herself before she marries. And she is bound to get some adventures as her guardian, who manages the fortune she is about to inherit when she marries. He wants this fortune for himself. So yeah, she is getting into trouble in every episode of this film series and in every chapter of this novelization. So why was I glad I had finished reading this this novelization? And I must admit that I only watched the first 3 installments in the film series, because I thought, well, this is just annoying, as yeah, it wasn't the overacting bit of it, which is quite common in silent films, and I can appreciate the overacting bit, and I can see it in the light of day. But the combination of overacting and the things that were supposed to be funny, that was just in the series a bit too much, as it is clear, as in the series as in the novelization, that Pauline gets herself into trouble, and Harry has to get her out of trouble in every episode and in every chapter of the novel. And she is just a stubborn kind of girl, and the novel and the series it's supposed to be funny in a funny way, like saying, well, these women, these are women and they have their things, and this was supposed to be funny and I didn't find it funny. I do see that back in 1914 and 1915 this was the way men thought of women, but I found it it was a little bit too much for me. And in one instance, in the end, Pauline says of herself that she was a selfish, silly, conceited little pig. These were her own words. Well, written by Goddard anyway, who wrote this novelization. So I found this, a little bit annoying. But maybe it's because I'm a woman myself and I like an independent kind of woman. And I don't blame her wanting to have her adventures before becoming a boring housewife. The novelization is what I'm concerned a little bit more interesting, as it has an extra element in it that the series does not have, and that is, in the novel, Pauline has an Egyptian mother whom she never knew, as she was adopted, and this adoptive father, before he died, he has this Egyptian mummy, and there is some sort of occult thing going on in the novelization where there is this spirit of this ancient old Egyptian mummy, but it doesn't have a prominent role in the novelization. I would have liked to see this line of story more developed, as I found this really an interesting kind of development, but I found it underdeveloped, which I found really a pity. But the novelization has the same quick pacing as the film series has. It is really pumping speed, you can say. Not the drugs, not the drug speed. No, it's really the tempo is really, so that's really entertaining to read if you want. And it has also a decent amount of suspense in it. So I enjoy that in the novelization. And well, but like I said, I found the melodrama, and combined in the fact that this is supposed to be about this silly, conceited woman, I found that to be not my cup of tea. But there are better novelizations of silent films out there. Take, for example, you can better read the novelization of the film series Judex, which is, I think, a film series that was could be seen in the cinema also around 1914, I think, if I remember correctly. I put a link to my review of the Judex novelization in the description box below. If you want to read a novelization of a silent film series, I can highly recommend you read in Judex. So what are you reading for GarbAugust? Are you doing the novelization prompt, or are you reading a novel that was turned in the 1970s or 1980s film? Meanwhile, keep those pulp juices flowing, and I hope to see you in the next video.